how's it going there, Bob?
Oh, great.
Are you ready for the video that we talked about a few minutes ago?
Sure, anytime.
Okay, so the video is called, for everyone watching, it's 78-year-old man tries quadrobics for the first time. And so we're going to do it. So would you mind coming over here for a second?
I am over here.
Well, closer. Here's Bob. Here's YouTube, and here's someone doing quadrobics.
Number 1, always stay hydrated. Number 2, don't overexert yourself. And number 3, remember to have fun.
Because my understanding of quadrobics, it's like a type of aerobics, it says here. And the reason we're doing this is because this is like a very trendy topic. So we're trying some like trendy stuff. Have you ever heard of this thing?
I've never heard the word quadrobics before.
Right, but you're a fitness guy, right?
I've been doing fitness for more than 50 years.
Right, so, but you obviously know aerobics, like aerobics.
Oh, of course I know what that is. I'm a certified fitness instructor.
Right, so quad and aerobics combined together, what would you assume it is?
Well, I know what aerobics is. That's when your heart beats faster than it normally does.
Yeah.
And quad means 4.
It says here, it's like, it involves all fours, mimicking the movements of a four-legged animal, also known as quads. So I guess it's talking about like all fours versus just like the quad muscle.
Yes, and I also know that at 78 years old, it's very difficult for me, even though I'm in pretty good shape for my age, to get down on all fours.
Right.
Like 2 years ago, I had my left knee replaced.
Right.
It's much better now, but I'm telling you, it's very difficult. And since I work with people who are my age, if not older, up till 90-year-olds, they're reluctant to get down for any reason.
At all.
They either stand up or they sit down.
Right.
But when I ask them in my classes to get down on the floor, because there are important exercises they should be doing on the floor, they're reluctant to do that.
Right. Because there's some connection between like a person being able to get on the floor and get back up and like your health. Is that true?
Absolutely. It has a lot to do with arthritis. Different kinds of arthritis exist in older people. And that's when you've lost your muscle and your bone density.
Yeah.
And so you can't get down and up because you're not as strong and your bones are more fragile and they might just break.
Right. So we have an interesting dynamic here because you're the fitness, certified fitness instructor, and I'm the video trend identifier director. And so in this case of doing like you doing quadrobics, which is apparently, my understanding is like people dress up like cats and sometimes and try to walk around like a cat.
Well, if you listen to, I just saw this, it says beginner all forms quadrobics tutorial.
Yeah.
She or he whispered it, but there were some words on the screen that said you should always stay hydrated, which means you should have enough water in your system to be able to do the exercises properly.
Right. And
that you're going to be taking it easy. So you're not going to do it too quickly. Yeah. So it's going to be slow moving kinds of stuff, at least at first. Yeah. And you're going to be using your muscles. Yeah. And you're going to be using balance. Mm-hmm. I agree with all of that right off the bat.
The quad muscle versus the idea of like on all fours being quadrobics.
Yeah, I get that. So you're on all fours. We do lots of exercises in my class using all fours.
Like a plank, for instance. Or...
Yes, but we do a standing plank as opposed to one on the ground. Okay. So you could say maybe I do quadrobics. I just don't know that word. So here's one exercise. I call it get down, roll over, and get up. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll stand up first to make sure I can stand. Yep, I feel okay today. I can stand. Now I got to get down on the floor. So what I would do is I would hinge. That means my legs are straight. I'd hinge by bending at the waist and looking down at the floor. Okay. And then I would lower my hips down as my legs bend to see if I could touch the floor.
Kind of like a squat?
Well, yeah, it's a squat, but they call this a deadlift. Yeah. Let me go back up again. So I'm going to straighten my legs and then unfold. Okay. Or hinge.
So you kind of got down there a bit.
So when you do a deadlift, you pick things up off the ground. You should always, first of all, fold or hinge. And then when you see the thing, which should be close to you, you should bend your legs, lower your hips, so you can reach it. Okay. And then you do the reverse to get up. But I want to go on the floor. So what I do is I get my hands the best I can on the floor, and then take my strongest leg or knee and put it down. Okay. and then I put the hip down on that side,
Okay.
and voila, I'm on the floor.
Okay, I think
it was that easy.
That was quadrobics for a second. 'Cause it was like,
Yeah, and then when I get down here, what I have to do is roll over. So I think instead of lying on my back and rolling over, I'm gonna lie on my stomach and roll over.
Okay.
Because if I lie on my back,
Yeah.
I wanna make sure I do that properly. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm gonna lie on my stomach.
And this isn't the softest floor, right?
No, and then I'm gonna roll over the best I can.
Okay.
Without breaking any of my limbs.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm going to get up. Now, to get up and keep my back, my low back, my lumbar spine safe
Yeah.
and not compromised,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get onto my side
Mm-hmm.
and then push up to the seated position. As opposed to, I'm here and I have to sit up and try to
Right.
get up this way.
Like doing a sit-up.
My quads, my core isn't
Yeah, your
strong
core.
enough. So this makes it a little bit easier. So then I got down, I got on my stomach, I rolled over, and now I got to
Right.
get back up. So this is my strong side. So I'm going to get off my hip onto my knee,
Yeah.
right? Strong side, push
Yeah.
down. My legs are bent. I'm in that
Yeah.
low squat the best I can
That's-
get into. And then I unfold and I'm back up.
Okay, can I make a request? See if
Sure.
you can do, when you go down and you touch your hands on the ground, that kind of looks like what they described on the video where they're kind of like walking on their hands with their feet on the ground. Can you move at all like that, or is that too much
Well,
of
that's
a...
a yoga move called the downward dog. So if I'm doing the downward dog, I'm in yoga class.
Yeah,
So I would fold or hinge.
yeah, so you're getting
Right,
close there.
then I do a squat, lower my hips, bend my legs. Now
Yeah.
I've got the floor, right?
Yeah.
Now if I walk out with my hands, now I gotta watch it now.
Right.
Because now my ankles are really important here. And
Yeah.
my legs down, my lower legs better be strong because I'm gonna put pressure on them. Watch how I'm up on the balls of my feet
Yeah.
and my toes.
Yeah,
That's where all the weight is. And then maybe a knee.
yeah,
So I'm in a table position now.
yeah, the plank or whatever.
Yeah, no, there's not a plank yet.
No,
If I went up on my toes,
Yeah.
I'd be in a plank
Right.
with my body parallel to the ground. Or
Mhm.
I could maybe put my forearms down to make it a little easier. Then stretch back with one leg. And then stretch. Now I'm in a plank.
Now you're in a plank.
Which means my body is parallel to the floor. My bum's not up or my tummy isn't sagging.
Yeah.
And then that's the best plank I can be in.
Okay.
Put my knee down.
yeah,
This is still a plank.
yeah,
This is a table plank.
yep,
So that's good. But to get back up now, I got to curl my toes under. I
yeah,
got to walk my hands back and push my weight onto my
yeah,
feet. I better have strong feet.
yeah,
And then from the downward dog in yoga back to the dead lift
okay.
reverse.
But can you do that where you actually like walk forward on your
Well,
feet
let me
and
try again.
hands?
So I'll come
I
down
think that's what
here,
the people typically
lower
think.
myself down now. If I walk like this,
Yeah, that's sort of the thing.
that's okay for me today. Some of the people I teach might be able to do this.
Yeah, it sort of looks tricky.
They might be able to do this.
The-
They
the-
might even be able to go around in a circle.
Yeah, the cat person in the video was saying like something about like tucking your fingers so you don't like if you're. I think because they like try to run maybe or like bound on their like, which you can see if your fingers were outstretched that it would probably like it. You wouldn't recommend like. It doesn't seem logical to tell someone who's like, say your age to like bound around like a horse
Well, you see, there's
or a dog.
a few golden rules that I use with the people I teach. Number
Yeah.
one is make sure you start with no weight.
Right.
Like don't grab onto any resistant band or any weights or anything and try to start doing exercises, whether they're quadrobics or regular
Yeah.
exercises. Don't do that. Use your body weight to do it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I tell them. And do everything super slow and pay attention to how you
Right.
feel,
Yeah.
and what muscles you're working, and if it looks dangerous, back off. That's what I showed them right
Yeah.
at the beginning. We progress to the harder stuff, but it might take a long time.
Yeah.
The other thing I tell them too is about the hands is that your grip is really important because if say my balance isn't the best,
Yeah.
so I'm sitting down, I'm not worried about my balance too much because I got a chair and my chair even has arms, so I
Yeah.
can hold on. But if I get up and I don't touch anything, and my muscles and my bones are weak, I could fall over at any minute.
Yeah.
So say my hands were weak.
Yeah.
And I fell over. Say I tripped or just fell over.
Yeah.
Say something broke. My feet were broke.
Yeah, something snapped.
And I went down. I would probably reach for something that would be just instinctively reach for something.
Yeah.
And hold on. Now, if my grip is weak,
Right.
I'm down. So I got to also do exercises for grip. And
Right.
one of the grip exercises I do is you take your, the person in the video that was pretending they were a cat and said you should have your hands in this position.
Something like your knuckles and stuff, yeah.
I wouldn't be telling anybody to do that unless my hands were really strong.
Yeah, because if you're watching a fitness video, because it sort of purports to be like a fitness sort of video, but if someone was dressed up like a cat and telling me about like that, I probably wouldn't necessarily trust them.
No, so I might later on in my progress, I might be able to do that.
They might have a point,
just start doing that no matter what anybody said to me. Especially at my age, when a lot of people my age have arthritis.
Yeah.
So their joints don't work full through the full range of motion. Anyway, but here's an exercise for grip that I could get the people to do to get ready to fold your fingers in. So you just, I'll show you with one hand. You just take your thumb and you bring it across toward the baby finger base. And you do that, say 10 times. Right? And then you grab your fingers and close them up like this. Do that, say 10 times. Then you bring all the tips together and take them out. Do that 10 times. And then you take your hands and you fold the ring finger and the baby finger down and hold it there with your thumb. So you're making like a peace symbol. Right? And then you take the two pads of your pointer finger and your middle finger and touch in there. And go back up. Back up. And back up. Do that 10 times. And do that on both hands every once in a while, and that will make your grip stronger. Because all the parts to your hands will be stronger.
Because isn't there some connection also with, like we said before, about how going down to the ground and getting back up is like an indicator of like health? Isn't a grip thing another health indicator?
Absolutely. In fact, even if you were strong, muscular and bone wise, but your grip was weak,
that'd be a problem.
You didn't do any grip exercises like hang from anything.
Hanging's good, right?
Or hold on to anything and pick it up. If you didn't do that, you might not fall, but if you needed to hold on to the railing going down the steps, and you couldn't, you might slip or whatever. Okay, one more thing, because it's like this video is getting to be a rather long, but I was gonna get your take on because one thing I saw with Quadrobics is the fox jump, where they do this thing where they spring up and they kind of go down like a fox jumping in the snow. Have you seen this? No, but I can show you what I would do that might you might call it Quadrobics. In terms of weight placement. For example, since my bones need to be strong, and the density of my bones determines whether or not they're going to be strong. Even if I've got arthritis or my bone density is low because I don't take enough calcium and magnesium, I can build bone density. I can eat the right foods, and I can do exercise and take the right supplements at my age, and I can do exercises to build my bone density. So I'm going to show you a full body bone density exercise that kind of looks like Quadrobics. Okay? So here it is, watch.
Wait, what did you do? You just stomped on the ground.
I'll try the other leg.
What is going on?
Or this.
You're hopping.
Yeah, so what's happening here is my skeleton is getting a jolt. And that jolt makes the bones and the density of the bones stronger.
Because you're testing it, you're kind of like...
Well, it's like if you use it over and over again, it will get stronger. As long as you don't abuse it.
You're not trying to...
Use, but don't abuse. So I'm not going to behave like maybe that person in the video by jumping, say, off of a tree into the yard. No, but I can stamp. Now, if I showed that exercise to the clients that I teach, and they said, I can't do that even. That hurts me to do that. I might say to them, can you do this?
It's sort of like heavy.
So I'm marching. That's the same thing as stamping, except not quite as effective on the joints. Right? And then you might even go like this. I'm going to hop.
Like bunny hop,
Even a little hop.
like hippity hop.
In different directions.
That's kind of good. Yeah, I can see that being good.
So if you wanted me to behave like an animal, fold, hinge,
Like the kind of like
squat, I can,
like a ribbit kind of.
yeah, and there are exercises.
Yeah.
This is called the frog.
Yeah, it looks pretty quadrobic.
Yeah, and I've shown people how to do the frog. They're using their whole body to do the frog, plus a little bit of the stamping
Yeah.
for their bones.
So I've seen people like, I think the whole thing of this modern type of quadrobics, they'll like literally like run on all fours like they're a dog chasing a, cat or something, which seems like it would be kind of dangerous for a lot of people to try to do that.
Well, you know what? The younger you are, you can do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Because you don't really lose your muscle mass and your bone density until you're around the age of 30 to 35.
Yeah.
Then it starts to disappear out of your body. Even if you tried really, really hard to do the right things, you're still going to lose it. So you'd have to be a dedicated exerciser.
Yeah.
You'd have to know exactly how to exercise. You'd have to eat the right foods all the time and stay away from all the bad stuff like smoking and drinking.
Yeah, it's almost like quadrobics might be a bit of a young person's game,
Yeah,
supposedly.
like quadrobics is I like the idea of some of the things that I've seen, but I haven't researched it enough to know whether or not I should
like pursue it as a real.
Like I already show the people that I work with these exercises, but I don't call it quadrobics. But
why don't we wrap this up and could I potentially get you to offer one final woof?
well, how about a meow? Because I love cats.